You have the plans, the crew is ready, and the materials are on site. But the physical work is rarely what stalls a property improvement. Construction grinds to a halt not because of a lack of lumber, but because of a lack of paperwork. It is not the materials or the labor that dictate the speed of a project. Regulatory compliance is the true hidden cost and the ultimate friction point in real estate development. Securing a stamp of approval means navigating a dense system of local building codes, municipal zoning laws, and multi-agency sign-offs. This system is multi-layered by design, heavily localized, and unforgiving of technical errors. When faced with this bureaucratic friction, every property owner has to make a deliberate choice. You must actively decide which path you will take to push your project through the system. You will inevitably pay for compliance. The only question is how. You can pay with your own time, you can pay with your capital, or you can pay through catastrophic hidden liabilities. The first path is the most tempting, the bypass. This is the decision to skip the permit process entirely to save upfront cash and keep the project moving. On paper, the immediate math looks appealing. By ignoring the permit, you avoid paying the $500 to $2,000 in standard municipal fees, and you sidestep the weeks of waiting for an inspector to approve your plans. Building departments actively hunt for unpermitted work. Inspectors routinely patrol neighborhoods looking for obvious signs of construction, like contractor trucks, lumber deliveries, and dumpsters sitting in driveways. Neighbors upset by noise or dust frequently call the city to report suspected violations. If the city catches you mid-project, they will issue a public stop work order. This document is posted directly on your property, and all construction halts immediately until the violations are resolved. Skipping a permit is never an actual optimization strategy. It is a high-risk financial gamble with a permanent negative expected return. Even if you manage to complete the construction and hide the work, the problems are just beginning. The long-term financial liabilities attach directly to your property and compound over time. Homeowners' insurance policies mandate that your property complies with local building codes. If an unpermitted pipe bursts or faulty wiring causes a fire, insurance adjusters will completely deny your claim. In many cases, discovering unpermitted work gives them the right to cancel your entire policy. When you try to sell the home, state laws require you to formally disclose any known property deficiencies and unpermitted modifications to potential buyers. Disclosing unpermitted work severely damages your property value. Buyers will often walk away from the liability. Title companies may refuse to issue insurance until the violations are cleared, and lenders will restrict financing, leaving you with a small pool of cash buyers demanding steep price reductions. To resolve the issue, you must go through the after-the-fact permit process. This is an agonizing legal mechanism required by the city to legitimize your rogue construction. This decision tree shows the true cost of taking the bypass. You will face severe financial penalties, typically paying double or triple the original permit fees. On top of that, you absorb compounding daily municipal fines, which can reach up to $500 per day until compliance is fully achieved. Building departments require retroactive inspections to verify the hidden work meets safety codes. This frequently forces you to conduct destructive inspections at your own expense, destroying finished drywall or cutting into concrete so inspectors can see the framing and plumbing. If the work cannot be brought up to code, the city will force you to demolish it. Taking the bypass guarantees a permanent legal liability that is attached to the deed of the property, effectively destroying your long-term return on investment. The second path is the municipal route. This is the DIY approach, where you act as your own permit runner and interface directly with the building department. The core benefit here is cost control. You pay only the baseline municipal fees required by the city, keeping your upfront capital expenditure to an absolute minimum. The primary trade-off is that you absorb 100% of the bureaucratic friction. You have to decipher dense county codes, submit the complex paperwork perfectly, and manage all the back-and-forth communication with city officials. You also become entirely reliant on the schedules of standard city inspectors. A minor technical error on a form or a seasonal backlog at the building department can stall your project for weeks while you wait for your turn in the queue. The DIY route trades your capital for extreme timeline vulnerability. Waiting days or weeks for an inspector inflates your carrying costs, leaving your materials sitting in storage and your contractors sitting idle on the payroll. The third path is outsourcing. This means paying specialized professionals to absorb the friction and manage the entire application process on your behalf. A permit expediter serves as your expert liaison. They navigate the patchwork of local codes, review your application for accuracy, and perform the proactive follow-up required to force your paperwork through the municipal system. Expediters protect your overall project timeline. They catch the specific formatting errors and missing documents that typically cause standard applications to be rejected and sent to the back of the line. This flowchart compares the standard municipal timeline against outsourcing. In some areas, like Florida under Statute 553.791, you can bypass the city queue entirely by hiring private providers. These are vetted third-party engineers who legally conduct your plan reviews and inspections instead of municipal personnel. You must pay out of pocket for these vetted third-party engineers, and those costs are completely separate from the standard permit fees the city charges. There are administrative trade-offs for this speed. By using a private provider, you often forfeit the ability to get early start permits or a temporary certificate of occupancy, known as a TCO. Outsourcing requires a premium upfront fee, but it delivers massive ROI by avoiding municipal gridlock and keeping high-stakes projects moving exactly on schedule. How you manage this regulatory friction directly dictates the final financial valuation of your property. Property additions that command high resale value, like outdoor kitchens, sunrooms, or finished basements, only yield those financial returns if they are fully permitted and inspected. During a formal property appraisal, unpermitted improvements are completely discounted from the total square footage and valuation. The capital you spent building them is effectively burned. This is why prospective buyers must independently pull permit histories from local building departments before closing. A standard title search will not reveal unpermitted work, and failing to verify the records means you inherit the previous owner's liabilities. Strict regulatory compliance provides the legal foundation that transforms a physical structure into a bankable, transferable real estate asset. Choosing your path through the bureaucracy comes down to your specific constraints. You have to decide whether you are prioritizing your time or prioritizing your budget. This matrix maps the strategy to your profile. If you have more time than money, the municipal DIY route works. For ROI-focused sellers, strict compliance is a non-negotiable standard. For time-poor optimizers facing high carrying costs, you must take the outsourced route. For these high-stakes projects, buying an expert liaison to manage the paperwork and secure next-day inspections is the ultimate optimization play. Construction optimization depends on a strategic approach to bureaucracy, ensuring you dominate the process instead of being stalled by it.